please.
Tom, over to you, pal. Who wants to get started with Jed?
Fantastic support from the team tonight, Jeff. Wasn't it, in the crowd and everything? It was a great atmosphere.
Yeah, I think it was great. It was fabulous. What an occasion! 14,000 people. It's nice that the people finally showed up. The ratio, I think, the Irish really turned up in numbers tonight. To feel that energy and to hear the noise. I think that's what that energy was that spurred the boys on and picked them up at crucial times. But just to the crowd, thanks very much for rocking up and supporting the boys.
Well, where did that support come from, and why hasn't it been at the other games in those sort of numbers?
I'd like to know myself. You can ask that question and come back to me, but I just think, again, whether it's that game or the 2 games before, I just think to get it on tonight's occasion and such a big game, it's great for the game, isn't it, as a whole? But it does make a difference, doesn't it? It makes a difference for these boys and for us as staff, and it was just nice to see on such a big stage that we get a big backing against such a great team as New Zealand.
You gave them plenty to cheer as well, didn't you, Jed?
Yeah, the boys didn't die wondering, did they? I dared them to be brave, and they went out and stuck it into them. To come up against some of the best athletes in the world, and with my mixed balance of a team, I've got some full timers, some part timers, and at times you wouldn't have seen or there was no difference in them. So I'm immensely proud of the boys.
With Maria Hargraves, are you wondering what you're going to do to get set off?
I'm filthy with it. I think I've got to be careful what I say and how I say it, but that's a game changer. It'd just be nice if there was a hold back on the emotion that. But yeah, it's just a game changer. A bit of a dog shot. I'm not going to cop that. I back the boys on that, but that is a game changer for me. I lost 2 players this week. The boys lost 2 of the teammates due to a decision. I'd love to see them go to town on that one after what we got served up this week.
Do you think, given you had there were 2 players got on 3 charges, suspensions, that Jared won't be playing next weekend?
100%. I don't think he'll play. Again, depending on what charge you send to, if it's the correct one, and I stress the correct charge. But it'd be interesting to see if he participates in the rest of the tournament.
How would you sum up that atmosphere, Ronan, playing out there in front of a very passionate Irish crowd this afternoon?
That was surreal. Every time we had a chance or a breakaway, the crowd erupted, and you just got that sense and that feeling that the crowd was backing us the whole time. They were incredible, really, and they gave us that extra spur when we needed it most.
Obviously, the World Cup has ended not on a high note, but how would you have summed up the whole experience?
It's been probably the best 3 or 4 weeks of my life. I've been dying for this. I was dying for it last year, and it got postponed. And this year it was absolutely savage. We had a great group, and to finally get to go out there and make my World Cup debut and put on that green jersey, it's what I've non-stop thought about it since we qualified.
Ronan, what was the preparation for this game like? With what happened last week, knowing you were right up against it tonight, what was the theme during the week and the preparation for this game?
I just think it was a never say die attitude. I think that as a group we had a really tight core, and we didn't lose anyone as a result of last week. People didn't put their heads down or start feeling sorry for ourselves. We said, listen, we still have one more game to play, and obviously our backs were against the wall, but we wanted to come out swinging and put it on arguably one of the best teams in the world. So that's what it's all about. We're the fighting Irish, and we just want to, I suppose, show the world that, listen, we're a small island, but there's a lot of talent from where we're from, and we have a lot of passion with what we do. And obviously they're a massively special country, and they're talented players, but it's 13 blokes with 2 arms and 2 legs against 13 blokes with 2 arms and 2 legs.
Ronan, the whole team always sings the anthem well, but you really, really went for it out there. Can you sort of tell us what was going through your mind as you were singing it for a World Cup game for the first time?
That's the most special feeling in the world. It means the world to you. It's something you dream about as a kid, singing your country's national anthem, and why would you sing it quietly? It's the most special feeling. You might only have a few in your life getting to put on the green jersey, so you have to sing it with all your heart. And yeah, it's just like hearing the crowd behind you, and you're shoulder to shoulder with all your best mates, and that's what it is. We're a family. We're not just a group of players who've come together from different clubs. We are literally a family, and getting to put on that green jersey and sing with your best mates and go to war, it's no better feeling.
Did you have any family and friends here tonight, Ron?
Yeah, I think the Dublin to Leeds Bradford flight, it was pretty packed out. I had my aunties, I had all my best mates over here. Like, they hit the nail on the head with the game to come over. Back home, it's a bank holiday weekend, so obviously a Friday night game suits people who have work and that. It just fell perfectly, considering it's the first game I've managed to get to play in this group. So it fell perfectly. I had a huge crowd in leprechaun suits watching me, so it was it was pretty special.
Jed, do you think that tonight showed that the Irish brand is something that is commercially viable in this country, and that if you played more, people would be able to, it wouldn't just wash its face. The authorities could actually make a success of events.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a product there. I think there's an entity or an identity there that we can fuel and drive. I just think I just hope someone will switch on and back it and drive it. There's a bag of talent there waiting for it to take off. I just need someone to drive it, and I'll be behind it very quickly. But 100%, it just needs someone with a bit of courage to stop following the rest of the sheep and say, no, I'm a wolf and I'm an Irish wolf and I'm going to take it and I'm going to go and do it. So there'll be plenty of players there queuing up to take it for sure.
Jed, mathematically you're still in the tournament. Do you give Jamaica any chance of doing you a favour on Sunday?
Good question, that, isn't it? We were going to ride out to Sunday, but sadly, the way the schedules have been put together, some of our players depart tomorrow, believe it or not, which is sad because we don't get to close down house as a squad. But we should have been given the chance to see out to Sunday and then close down as a group and finish the stages together. But sadly, some of our players have to depart tomorrow.
Are you going back home in the off-season, Ronan? Are any of the boys going back over to Dublin?
Yeah, I've no doubt. Like, once we see out Sunday, there'll be a few lads who'll be keen to go out and see a bit more of Ireland and come on a little tour with me. But yeah, I'll get home for the off season as well and spend time with the family and get ready for pre-season.
But for some of the Heritage boys, have you kind of taught them a bit about the Irish history and stuff like that over the last couple of weeks?
Well, I don't think we have. We're all Irish together, you know what I mean? Like, anyone who's willing to take time away from their off season is Irish to me. But yeah, absolutely, all the lads have bought in and they've been willing to learn about where they're from, and they've all gone away in their own time actually, and it's taken no effort or no push from anyone for them to go away in their own time and learn about their family and speak to their relatives about where they're from. And they all came in knowing, like, listen, I'm from here, there, and this is my history and this is my bloodline, you know.
Whose shirt have you got there, Ronan?
I have Isaiah Papalides.
Was there a couple of players out there you thought you were looking up to a couple of years ago? Bit of a dream, not only playing for Ireland, but against some of the best players in the world.
Jesus, yeah, like, you know, obviously there's a lot of special talented players that you watch week in, week out, blokes who've won grand finals, played in grand finals and played at the top level of the game, and you do aspire to play against them, but you also aspire to, I suppose, give them a bit of a whack and test yourself against them. There's no better stage to test yourself as a player. Like, it's what you dream of playing against the best.
Okay, last call. Anyone else?
Yeah, Jed, it's only 3 years to the next World Cup. Can you keep this? We look to keep this group of players together and try and build, or what's the?
Yeah, 100%. It's a man's dream, isn't it, as a coach, to keep this great pool of players together. But obviously, they've got to go back and get into pre-season, focus on the season commitments. We've got to put our schedules together. We've got to get the board to back it. But one thing I will say is there's lots of things in the diary moving forward in terms of activity for our teams, our stress teams, women's, men's, the juniors, the wheelchair, the masters. We've just got to keep feeding this identity from Ireland Rugby League, and it's an identity that people want to be affiliated with and want to be part of. But yeah, I'm excited over this next 3 years. We're building something special. We've started this year. There's a whole new DNA in Ireland way that we're creating, and I'm guessing after this tournament that there'll be a lot more players questioning their heritage.
Okay, last call again. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks guys.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.